Hey guys, welcome back to another live discussion with Dr. D. I am super excited to be with you all on this evening. We are continuing our live discussions with a focus on fathers and men, in particular, even if, they're not fathers, we're still focusing our efforts on you as well. We are going to jump right into our segment called Father-Daughter Goes. Yes. And so I'm super excited. As you notice, like I have one guest here, you're like, wait, this is father-daughter. Like, wait a minute, it's two women, what's going on? Right. Well, as all things daddies, Daddy got caught up in a meeting and Daddy's on the way. And so we're going to start with Aubria this evening. So I want Kyle Greene to introduce herself. Tell us a little bit about her, and we're going to go into talking about, father-daughter goes from the daughter's perspective before we actually bring in her father, okay? All right, Aubria, tell us,
So, hey, y'all, I'm Aubria, as she already mentioned. I am a rising senior at Columbia College, and I am 21, a business administration major, recent author. I think that's really exciting to say with my name. I'll be speaking from a daughter's perspective on father and daughter relationships.
Awesome. You guys, she's doing a lot. 21 years old, and man, she's out here making it happen. And not just, while she's, in college waiting to get a degree, but she's actually already a published author. So that is super duper amazing. And I'm pretty certain that the relationship that you have with your father has been, something that's added to your life, regarding that. So we got some people. Hey, Brianna Jackson.
Hey, girl.
So I'm pretty certain that you'll see some people that come in. Right. So we're going to dive right in, Aubria. Let's talk about how, on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everybody wants to post and share, everything that's going on in their lives and, these relationships. But this has been a unique relationship that I've been following between you and your father, Kyle, for the longest. Like, I've been seeing you guys, up close and personal, being that I worship with you at church, and then just seeing you out in the community, especially Kyle, working in the community. Like, tell the people about that father-daughter relationship. Like, is it just a hashtag father-daughter goals, or, what is it really like?
No, so my dad is literally my best friend, and that relationship has been built over years. So it took time to get to where we are now. Like, a lot of people don't know that when I was about 3 to 7, I was in foster care, and then my dad, came and he got me, and over time, we grew a bond, because I was very, rebellious, fighting all the time, getting in trouble. And then somewhere down the line, I knew, Bree, you don't have to be like this. Like, these people love you. This man, he loves you. He's going to do right by you. Yeah. And over time, I learned that, and I let that guard down, and I let him into my heart. And we built that bond. Like, I tell him everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything under the sun. And just because it's like,
stuff he don't want to know.
Right? Even some stuff he may not want to know, but he gonna know regardless. Hey, Daddy, this boy cute. What you think?
Right, exactly.
It's really on that level.
I love it
because we built that trust, we built that bond, and that's very important, because fathers will be a daughter's first love. So he will teach you
that's really
the
good.
proper way to love a man. Like, he will show you the reflection of what you should look for in a future boyfriend, a future husband. So you better come with your game if you're trying to get with me, because my dad had already set the bar so high. So just be ready. But it's the truth.
It is the truth, though. That is so true. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I have people who are, adults who are watching, who, many of us can attest to either having a relationship with our dads or not having one with our dads, and what that made us feel like, growing up. Like, you're still young, you're 21 years old, but you have so much of a testimony, like sharing the fact that, man, from 3 to 7, you were in foster care, which I'm pretty certain was a jar at your identity, being loved and knowing love. So the fact that you and your dad have this unique, amazing relationship is such a beautiful love story, and it gives those of us who have fathers that are still alive, whether we're 21 or 51, to make sure that we understand the importance of having that father-daughter relationship. And I will tell you, it is important to have that relationship. They do give you the roadmap. Right. You know, when fathers are in your lives, they give you the roadmap to what to look for in a husband, in a mate. Right. And a lot of times when you don't have that direction, sometimes you can take the wrong direction because you didn't have a guide. And everybody may not have had the father there, but sometimes uncles took up that space, or an older cousin or older brother took up that space to be, you know, that father figure. But you know, of course, having that beautiful relationship with your dad here, you know, it's a personal testament of what true love between a dad and a daughter can really do. Our last live, you know, I had one of the fathers talk about the relationship with the son, but being a female, I really thought with Father's Day coming up, you know, it was really important to have that female perspective of how important it is. Sometimes it can be obvious why boys need their dads, but not so obvious sometimes why the girls, why we need our dads. So definitely wanted to hear your perspective on that. So this journey with father-daughter goals, like, man, tell us a little bit about like how it's changed your environment in school and in the community.
It's like now my closest friends, or even like people that may not even know me that well, they look at our relationship and it's like they cling on to my dad. Like my closest friends, like they look at him as like a father figure and come to him for advice. And I'm like, yo, my dad will give you the real, like he gave me the real, because my friends see how I am and how, you know, much stuff is going for me, and they like, wow, like how did Aubria get here? How did she get this way? And it's like, it's because of him. Like, yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And that tends to happen. I've observed that. Like, and you know, your dad is cool. You know what I'm saying? He's not just, you know what I'm saying? He's not just, you know, oh, Aubria, you got to do this, that, and the other. It's not one of those strenuous, you know, parent-child relationship, but it's actually one that's, you know, really, I can see how it has benefited both of you guys. Like I said, from knowing and watching you all develop. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of the book? Like, how was that? Woo! Tell them a little bit about the book. Like,
so when I was like in middle school, we used to write poems back and forth to each other. So he used to like send, you know, a topic, and we both write on it, and we were like, oh, you know, we should write a book about like with these poems. But then we had the blackout this year at the beginning of the year. I was like, Dad, we should write our book. Like, we got all this free time. I'm still on winter break from school. Like, we got nothing but time. We should get to it. And like, we went to the library for like 3 hours every day, working on the book. You know, we got like all the journeys like that night. Like, I pretty much came up with all the journeys, if I do say so myself. I just want to put that in there. But it was fun. It was an experience. Like, I would live it all over again.
Oh man, that's beautiful. What would you share with young people out there who have good relationship with their parents? Like, you know, they're visible, but they may not have like the closeness like you and your father have. Like, kind of talk to them about why that's important, because you know for a fact that sometimes young people, when they're not getting along with their parents, they tend to kind of have this kind of distaste, or, you know, just a different feeling. They feel some kind of way. You know, why is that important to have that relationship?
Well, actually, in the book, one of the journeys is broken perception. And
I
talk about how somewhere down the line, parents made it seem as though they can't be friends with their child. And I feel like it's almost a necessity to be friends with your child to a certain degree for them to let you in. Because if they're not letting you in, then they're letting someone else in. And someone could potentially lead them the wrong way. So that's why, to a certain degree, you have to be your child's friend so they can feel like they can come to you and gossip to you and just, oh my gosh, Mom, guess what? Like, but if they feel like you're just gonna shut them down, not listen to them, they're not gonna come to you.
Right.
So,
man, that is good. Like, broken perceptions, man. Like, we're breaking all this stuff up today, man. Like, this is so good information. And I really wish, just to be honest and transparent, that, those that raised me, like my dad and my grandparents, like I really wish that they had that same mindset. Not that it was a terrible upbringing,
right,
but it was some challenges because you didn't feel like your parents were, you know, friendly.
Right.
You didn't feel like
right.
that you could go to them and talk to them
right.
about different things. I was raised in old school.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was like stay in a child's place. A child
right.
is a child.
Yeah.
You know, we're the parents. But having that open relationship is really, really important. So I love the fact that she shared that. Also talk about from the perspective of if you and, you know, if the child and their parent like are talking through goals and dreams, well, why is it important to like work those things together like you and Kyle did? Like y'all came together, you wrote a book together. Like why, you know, what was that process like, and why is it important to have parents and their children think about doing a work together?
For my dad, it's like when he sees me succeed, he knows he succeeded.
Wow.
Because as a parent,
can you repeat that? say that again. Say that again.
When my dad sees me succeed, he's succeeded. He see that he's done his job.
Wow.
As a parent, you know, you have to do these steps to get your child to where they are.
Right.
And, you know, I use his resources and all of that to get to where I am. So it's like when he sees me shining, sees me winning, he's like, wow, I've done my job. You know, job well done, Dad. So, yeah, it's important.
It's so important. I love that. My sister-in-law was like, yes.
It is.
Yes, it is so important. Thank you guys to all of you guys that are tuning in. I see your names popping up. We're just in this thing. This is a live discussion. So if you want to chime in, feel free to chime in. Aubria and I, we're just kind of digging the ground a little bit. She's giving us her perspective, and I wanted to start with her, and then Kyle's going to come in and join us from the father perspective. But these two individuals wrote a book together called Father-Daughter Goals. It's more than a hashtag. So I'm super excited about continuing to talk. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and for spreading this love, spreading all this information all about, because that's what live discussion is all about. It's about information and inspiration. So hopefully, as we're continuing our conversation, that you will walk away inspired and informed, you know, about something that you either didn't know or you just didn't think about.
Right.
So that's, you know, we're going to dig further in. Now let's talk about this book. You've had engagements, book signings, you've been talking to people.
Yes.
Like as a 21-year-old, still in college, you know, with, you know, like you shared before, didn't have the best beginning.
Right.
Like how does this make you feel, like speaking to people about your story and doing book signings for people about your story?
Right. It puts you like on a crazy high. Like it's an overwhelmingly like proud feeling, because you like I didn't let what I've been through, you know, deter me from my purpose.
Oh, that's so good.
Like,
that's so good. And I hope the young people, parents will share this with their young people, man.
Yes.
That's continue, please.
Yes. So I could have easily just let, you know, being abused and, you know, being neglected, I could have easily let those, you know, mistreatings just keep me bound. But I let it, you know, set me free by sharing my story to people. Hi!
Yes, we interrupt your regular scheduled program because Father is here.
Yes, sir.
He is here. But yeah, we got the whole picture. Got the whole crew, so we're ready. We are absolutely ready. Continue, darling.
Yes, through sharing my stories, I'm able to free other people, because I've just recently started doing messages of the day. I randomly did that one day. You know, I felt like it was something I just needed to do, and the response I got from it was like wow.
Right.
And then like as I've gone on, and especially with the recent one I did where I actually talked on my past, because for years I never talked on it because it was just a real sensitive topic.
Absolutely.
So I didn't really speak on it. But you know, I had, you know, girls who would DM me like, oh my gosh, I was abused too.
Man.
I was molested too.
Man.
Like, I love seeing you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Wow.
You're on the right track. And it was like, I'm doing something right.
That's amazing. Guys, if you're watching, man, please hear all that Aubria is saying. Like, she's really like pouring her heart out, sharing aspects of the book, and then also the experience as well. We have free people.
Yes.
Absolutely, Shannon.
Yes.
So that's why we have to tell our stories, no matter how young or how experienced. You know what I'm saying? We got to tell our stories. Aubria has set the bar really high, Kyle. So she's in here like getting it. So you can't just come up in here just, like whatever. So Kyle is here. Tell us about who you are, Kyle. Tell the people who you are.
So real quick, man, I'm Kyle A. Greene. The A is for awesome. It's like the A is for Aubria. Her name is Aubria Greene. So I gave her part of my name. Matter of fact, both of my kids got some of my name in it. Awesome. So anyway, I was born in a small town. Mom was on drugs. My father wasn't there. I was raised by my elderly grandmother. I was educated in one of the worst school districts in South Carolina. I had Bree when I was 16 in the 10th grade. But understand this, man, even though I knew that I made a mistake, I knew that my life, and I knew that I wasn't a mistake. And even though I failed, man, it didn't make me think that I was a failure.
Right. And
sometimes in life, y'all gonna take losses. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. What's important is how you see failures, how you see losses, and how you see mistakes. It's how you look at it, and like how you see, like how you change like your whole mindset about a situation. Like now I see Bree, man, she's my most beautiful and my most precious blessing. Like I heard her driving up here, man. I told Bree, she texted me, she said, Dad, you gonna have me do it by myself? I said, sweetie, you a star.
Man.
Like, you was built for this. Like,
and she's handling it.
She amazing.
She is handling it, man. Kyle, thank you so much for sharing that. It's amazing, how sometimes when we're around people, we don't know how much we have in common.
Right.
And like Kyle, I was raised by a mother, well, technically wasn't raised by her because she was on drugs.
Yeah.
And so my grandparents raised me as well.
Wow.
So it's amazing how, you never know what people's, past have been. And so it's important to share those stories. And people constantly say, free people, free people.
Right.
When you're free, from fear and from broken perspectives, like we were talking about earlier, and all these different perceptions that we have of ourselves and people around us, when we're free from all that stuff, we're able to really share that. Kyle, Abria's been talking about like this whole father-daughter thing. I've been kind of like digging in, making sure, it's just not like a social media hype. Y'all two just on here posting pictures and doing all this stuff. But tell us about this real relationship that the two of you have. She's already shared, so let the people hear from your side.
Yeah, so I say all the time, man, like we not new to this. We true to this. Like the book and the social media posts, but guess what, man? It's a million pictures that I haven't posted.
Right.
It's a million stories that I haven't shared.
Yeah.
Like me and she is my best friend in the whole wide world. Like I grew up with her. I feel like that. Yeah. So she had a point in her life when she get older, and she feel like she's never got to a point where she feel like, yo, Dad, I can't hang out with you. I want to go see this new movie with my friends. Or, Dad, I'm going to miss lunch with you because I'm going to have lunch with my friends. Like, she make it her interest to know, because she know how much she means to me. And if she took that away from me, it'll be a big part of my life that'll be taken away. And she kind of get that. And I know her being 21, being a rising senior in college, like she has her own life, but she understands just how important she is to my life, and she doesn't let nothing really come in between that.
That's amazing that you guys have that understanding, those lines, those, I wouldn't say barriers, but just balance. You have good balance because she is growing up, and eventually, if her desires to move forward in life, pursue marriage or relationships and stuff
he better know it's a package deal.
Look, we talk about that.
You marrying both of us. I'm dead serious. No.
I know you are. That's why I'm laughing.
We getting married.
Wow. Yeah. And let me tell you something. She said something that was important from the child's perspective.
Right.
I want you to talk about it. My sister-in-law is laughing at you guys. But I want you to share it from the parent perspective. A lot of times, people don't see that it's important for parents and their children to be friends. A lot of times they like to separate the entity. Right. Can you talk about it from the parent perspective of why that's important?
So it's crazy. I think Bree said it, but she came up with all of the journeys. Every single one she pretty much came up with. So when she said, Dad, we gonna write on broken perception, I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, I was lost. I was dumbfounded. And she said that's like having a relationship, like how our relationship is, letting people know it's okay to be friends with your kid. Man, I'm telling you this. If you're not your child's best friend, you better be concerned, or you better at least know who your child's best friend is.
That is so good.
Because
that is really good.
Somebody is pumping something into your child's psyche, into their subconscious mind.
Man.
And if it's not you pouring into that, if you're not pouring into that, somebody is pouring into it. So I decided, I said, you know what? Because, I run like a dictatorship. I'm like the dude from North Korea when it comes to my kids. It's whatever I say.
Like Kim Jong-un?
I'm Kim Jong-un. Like, I'm sending off nukes all over the place. I'm blowing up.
Wow.
But now on the serious tip, I knew it was important that I had a relationship, especially with my daughter, man.
Yeah,
Because
man.
girls these days,
talk about that.
Sex trafficking, you know, you going out places and guys doing stuff to girls taking advantage. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I'm gonna be her best friend, and she gonna be able to confide in me every single thing. It doesn't matter if it's about, like, Dad, this boy said X, Y, and Z. Dad, like, my period just came on for the first time, and you gotta go buy me some pads and some Lysol and some ginger ale.
That's
and some
Hear
crackers.
this, fathers.
I'm like, I don't even like periods.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Right, like, it's disgusting. And she was like, I need some pads. I'm like, yo, I gotta pick up a box of that? She was like, yeah. So, like, yo, I am her best friend. She is my best friend. But when I have to be her father and I have to discipline her and I have to, like, lay the law, like, you did something wrong and now I gotta reprimand you and you gonna cry and it's gonna hurt my heart and I'm gonna probably start crying, beating you. Like, you gonna have to get this beaten to understand that even though I'm your best friend, I'm your, like, father first.
Yeah.
And she gets that. And you gotta have that relationship, parents, man. You gotta have that in the 21st century.
Yeah.
You gotta compete against Instagram.
Man.
You gotta compete against Snapchat. You gotta compete against YouTube. You gotta compete the friends at school. You got so many different entities that you gotta compete with. You better do something to set yourself apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what allows me to set myself apart with my kids. Because it's not like this with my daughter. It's with my son too.
Absolutely.
He loves his mom because, you know, boys love their moms, girls love their dads. So you gotta compete with his mama, but that's still my baby.
That's still your baby. You gotta compete, but that's still your baby.
He eat a whole lot, but that's
I see your post. Like, he's eating you out of house and home during the summer.
You got some money?
I have a puppy. I'm
okay.
good.
Kids will eat your puppy.
Right. we got it. We got enough. We right now we good. But that's amazing, parents. I definitely hope you guys share that. For me as an educator, what was really important that I heard was making sure that even if, you know, you're kind of old school and you're like this whole, I ain't trying to be my child's friend thing, at least be a listening ear.
Right.
You know,
sounding board.
A sounding board. Be open so that they can come to you because that's important. They're getting it from somewhere. Either it's a friend at school, somebody off the streets could be doing it. Social media, you know, got these DMs, people coming in your DMs telling you stuff. And, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like there's so much that they're enamored with that you gotta be that buffer to let them know. You know, as educators, there's only so much we can do when they're in the classroom. Of course, we're gonna steer them in the right direction. That's our job. But when they get home, you have to sometimes take away their ability to get on social media when they haven't been responsible or if they behave based on that influence. So it's so very important. So thank you for sharing both, not for just your daughter, but also for your son as well, because Kyle does have a son. So we just jumped on this father-daughter goal because we, like, as a girl, I just really thought it was important. Like I told her earlier, it's obvious why guys need their dads. But it's not always spoken why daughters need their fathers. You know, beyond the obvious, you know, just being in the house. But there's so many other things. Like, go ahead. It seems like you got some ideas pumping. Go ahead.
So it's not just ideas. So as we were writing the book, and then you got your own, you know, you got your own copy. We'll give you an autographed copy. So as we were writing the book, I was doing like some research, just trying to find out what the statistics say about daughters who have their dads and daughters who don't have it. So when they was talking about obesity, like it traces back to their father not being there. When it talks about like self-image, it traces back to their father not being there. When it talks about like self-love, self-confidence, it traces back to their father not being there. Girls that do drugs, it traces back to fathers not being there. Teenage pregnancy, it traces back to fathers not being there. Females who commit crime, it traces back to fathers not being there. That's all I had to see. Like, and I didn't even have to see that. Like, you didn't have to give me a statistic to even tell me that.
You can see it.
I lived it. I saw it. I grew up in Jasper County, South Carolina. Like, if you've never been to Jasper, you don't understand Jasper, Google Jasper County, South Carolina. We rank in the bottom in education. We rank high in poverty. We rank high in crime. Like, I knew that in order for me to change the game with my daughter, I was gonna have to do something different.
Absolutely, and they're also on the corridor of shade,
right?
Which
I-95.
is, the I-95 corridor in South Carolina with some of the schools, So and trust me, I've been to Jasper several times, and it's definitely an area that has great need, because our coastal areas they're so far away from like city resources, capital resources that they do suffer a lot, and so you will see a lot of times, believe it or not, you will see high statistics in these low country, remote areas, just like you would see in a big city.
Exactly.
Because the lack of resources, the lack of conversations about, those things like lack of fathers, different things of that nature. And so hopefully, this type of discussion will, permeate through, and people will see that and begin to not only have conversations, but talk about resolutions, because some people may not have their father physically there.
Right.
They may have passed away. They may be in jail.
Right.
Like, could you offer, just some words of encouragement, or just, things that, you can offer as a male for those who are daughters, girls, and they don't have access to a male role model in their lives?
So I just always say, and you said something earlier, even if you don't have a father there, man, it's that uncle in the family who's like the community uncle.
Yeah.
Like the nieces know that they can go to him and, hey, uncle, I need help with, I'm in school, and can you give me some money? And that uncle, he's going to give money. He gonna be that uncle at the family reunion. He might be a little drunk, but he going to be talking like, girl, you better stay away from them drug dealers. I was once that drug, you know what I'm saying? He can give you that type of tough love advice, that the advice that girls need, because girls need to hear certain things.
They do.
Like, I can tell Bree something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I might not think Bree listening, but then I can hear her talk to her friends, and she'll give them the advice that I gave her, because she's been listening to what I've been saying. So, because
it's in her conscious. You know what I'm saying? That you're the one that's speaking inside of her ear. And so I think that's important. Like you said, whether it's, an uncle or just someone trustworthy, that if your mom and you don't have a husband or a significant other that is pouring into your children, you don't have anybody for your daughter, I definitely suggest, like, you looking in your community or your schools for mentors, for someone to, assist and just be that male figure. I don't think that we should just, disregard if they don't have it physically there. Like, we should definitely be having conversations about making sure that they have the male perspective. Because
also know you have a spiritual father, as PJ said. Sometimes it's not always, about the presence, but knowing that there's your father upstairs who's always
watching. Man, can I tell you? So my grandmother raised me in the church.
That is important, right?
My grandmother raised me in the church.
Right.
On Sundays, it wasn't no option. You were going to church. It wasn't no, I'm sleeping in, I'm tired, nothing. She like, I don't care what you did the night before you going to church on Sunday.
Same.
So I take my kids to church. I don't have to take that one to church.
Right. She's going to go without you.
She going without. She taking notes.
Right.
She telling me like, yo, Dad, she texted me during the service. Oh, did you catch what you just said? Sweetie, I'm listening to it. I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Like, I'm sitting right here,
Like, girl, like she got a relationship with God.
Amen.
that wasn't I didn't force that on her. Like, she knew she needed to have that, and she got that on her own. So, like, I didn't even say nothing about God. Like, that was all on her.
Right.
And so parents, especially dads, man, you gotta go to church. You gotta show your kids, like, you're not too cool to not go to church.
Man, that is so big.
And then I go. I might not be shouting and dancing and jumping up when PT say, Denard be like, now lose your mind. I don't lose my mind, but I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there. That is too funny. But I'm glad you brought that up. Like, seriously. Yeah. Because a lot of times men shy away from church because of the charismatic nature. A lot of times of church, with jumping, shouting, dancing, praising, clapping your hands. Right. And they're just, sometimes that's not their thing. Right. But it does not mean that there's not something that's being said or done that will resonate with your spirit and resonate with your mind. My thing is, that's important, but the most important thing is, what are you being fed? That's like the most important thing. Like, you can, okay, yeah, they're kind of loud. Yeah, this person over here is moving a little bit too fast and too much for my liking. Right. But what is being spoken into my life? That's the important part. So, men, I definitely, as an ordained minister, as a person who is of faith, I do encourage, from a father-daughter, father-son, a father perspective, definitely make sure that you are leading as a parent with a relationship with God. Right. It doesn't matter how that relationship comes to be. It doesn't matter even how you worship. Like, it's on you, but have a higher power that you're able to access. Right. Because because you didn't just haphazardly get these children.
Right.
We believe that they come from a higher place.
Right.
So because you've been given the responsibility to raise such precious life, you have to access where that life came from in order to really know how to raise them. So I definitely wanted to put that plug there. Like, going to church and worshiping with your children is very, very important, because in some homes you don't see that. The mom is taking the kids, or, they're going by themselves, but at least, Dad, I know y'all gonna be there Father's Day. I know y'all coming Sunday. But, make it, a family thing. Right. It doesn't have to be a ritual. I don't believe in all that. It doesn't have to be just something to do just to do it. Right. But just make sure that you have that time spent with your family where you're praying. Pray with your daughters. Pray with your sons. I definitely wanted to share that because I think that's very important. And Kyle, I'm a witness, does attend church with his daughter and without. They come, I tell you, if he's out of town, she's going to be there. Yeah. So I'm definitely glad to, to see that you guys have that component. So let's talk about this book. We're going to kind of close out, but we're going to talk about this book. Aubria talked about the process, how y'all went to the library 3 hours a day, all of that good stuff. I want you to share from a parent perspective why it's important to access what's in your home with you and your children. Put your stories out there and become, that example for others around you. Like, how did this process just continue to birth this relationship, and why is it important for parents to have these type of activities with their own children?
So another shameless plug. Hashtag father-daughter goals. Beautiful bond between a father and his daughter was formed by a simple promise. So why it's so critically important, right? So even though me and Bree, we've probably been father-daughter goals before it was a book, before it was a hashtag. Mm-hmm. We was like striving to be father-daughter goals. That's what you said earlier. Mm-hmm. So at some point, and you might not have to, your thing with your child, with your daughter, especially fathers, or I don't care, parents, period. It may not be writing a book. Right. That might not be your thing. Right. That was something. I guess God kind of placed on us, and it was subconsciously placed in our mind years ago. Mm-hmm. I heard Bree talk about it was with poems. Absolutely. But when we manifest this, when this became a reality, because it was once a dream in our hearts. Right. Now it's a reality in the eyes of people all over the world. So now we have people who can order this book. Mm-hmm. They can take practical perspectives from both Bree and me. Gotcha. On every single journey. Mm-hmm. And then you get a bonus journey where it's just Bree writing by herself. Man. And it's just me writing by myself. Man. So you get a father-daughter perspective, and we're not giving you the blueprint, because what worked for us may not work for you. That's good. But if you can take bits and pieces from our life, from our perspective, and then apply it to what you already doing, because hopefully you already doing something. Yeah. Then you can say, you know what? I never tried this. Maybe if I tried this, maybe I can then remove a layer of trust, of distrust, and add a layer of trust, and then now I can add some transparency. Because I'm telling you, man, without communication, without transparency, without making memories, all these journeys we talk about in the book, your father-daughter relationship is on shaky ground. I'm not saying that it's not solid, but it's on shaky ground. So why not just read a book that can help give you that foundation? And simply for me and Bree, man, we wrote a book that can hopefully bless people's lives all over the world. Awesome. And that was our thing. Right. So maybe your thing with your son, if you a father-daughter, maybe she's in the dance. Yeah. Go to those dance recitals. Yeah. When they want fathers to be a part of it, dance with her. I'm the most unorthodox, non-rhythm person in the world. But if Bree said, yo, Dad, I want you to freaking do the Drake, what's the love thing?
In My Feelings challenge.
In My Feelings challenge.
He gonna do it with me.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, because I would like to see that. Because I don't even know what that is. Hey, I don't know one of those moves.
Anyway, It's nothing that I would not do for her. So parents out there, fathers especially, man, do something with your daughter that will stick out. Like, I mean, I don't know what that will stick out in her mind, and she'll say, you know what, man, my dad might have not had all of the money. Right. He might have not was able to give me all of the things that I need materialistic wise, but yo, he gave me a whole lot of love. Yeah. And that's one thing that you'll never be able to replace. Man. And that don't cost a thing. Man. And tell my daughter she's beautiful when she's dressed, not even when she's not even dressed up for prom. Right. But to look at her and say, sweetie, you're beautiful. Right. Like, it's priceless. What? Yeah. And that's stuff you can't buy. Right. And so that's why a lot of times, like, if we don't get that, you know, coming up in our young age, we seek after it in relationships. Right. You know, and it may not even just be men, but even sometimes when we're friends with females, we seek this validation, you know, that our fathers, that's what their responsibility was, you know? So I'm glad that you guys came. I love candid conversations. I love transparency. I love the fact that you guys shared your earnest journey with us. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you both. Aubria holding it down while Danny coming in. That's what we do. And Shannon says she agreed with the things that we're saying. This was amazing, guys. And you guys check out hashtag Father-Daughter Goals. Check out the book. If you are a parent, dad, if you have daughters, make sure you get this book. I am certain there's something in there that you're able to apply, man. I believe that their journey has been, you know, what it was for moments like this, and then, of course, those in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody that's tuned in, thank you so very much. If they wanted to say, hey, Kyle, hey, Aubria, I want you guys to, you know, come speak to our parents or come speak to such and such, how do they find you guys? So they can send an email. It's at Kyle at KyleAGreene.com. So you can send an email. You go to the website, www.KyleAGreene, that's green with an E at the end.com. We all over social media. On Instagram, it's Father-Daughter Goals book. On Facebook, you can follow me at Kyle Greene. I'm almost at like 5,000 friends. But if somebody got a whole lot of drama, I'll unfriend them and I'll follow them.
Well, you can add me because I'm not there. Aubria Greene. Add me. I'm not close to having 5,000 friends. So.
I got like 5,000 friends. I got like 3,600 people that's following me afterwards. You know, just
he big time. He big
You know, I got a blue check and all.
Oh my God! He got this blue check.
Bye.
So where can they find you, Aubria? I love it. That's why I can have them both on here because I love it.
So you can find me on Facebook at Aubria Greene, and then on Instagram, Aubria Sion.
Okay, spell that Aubria from. You know, you got
AUBRIA Greene with E at the end, and then Aubria Sion CEON.
Okay, very good. Thank you guys again so very much. But before I go, I gotta ask. I was thinking about dinner tonight, right? Okay. And so I was like, man, what am I going to eat, right? And so I love seafood, right? So
you talking to Mr. Seafood.
I love seafood, right? So I'm like, I heard this thing called the cow special.
Better ask somebody.
This brother got his own special in the restaurant.
I'm so tired of the special.
Oh my gosh, she works.
Everybody that way. What's the cow? Can you tell me what the cow special is?
I would like to try the cow special. So, you know, tell me where I need to go and what I need to do to order this cow special.
Well, since I am the ambassador of Mr. Seafood, and all she is a cashier.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, God.
You know, since
Father-Daughter's Goals just went down.
Yeah.
Right. And since I'm the VP of Marketing and Promotions.
Oh, God.
And,
you getting your cut?
No, he ain't getting no cut.
Not really, but nah, man, it's Mr. Seafood, man. My homeboy Kevin Scott, man, that's his establishment. I remember going live there when he first opened up, and I tried the garlic shrimp, and I went live the whole time eating the shrimp, shrimp, licking it off my arm. Video got like 8,000 views, and he just kind of blew up. But it's a phenomenal establishment, great food, great quality, great customer service. My baby worked there, and if you go there and order a cow special, tip her some money. She pays for my lunch sometimes.
I'm done. Wow.
But nah, man.
Coins.
Yeah. But Mr. Seafood, man, it's delicious on what 2901 Two Notch Road. 3901 20 something like that. Yeah, it's on 2 Notch.
3402.
He don't know where the special is. She don't know where she works.
So I think it's 3402.
I'm trying to figure this whole thing out.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay. 39
3402-F.
That place.
Right.
Go there, ask for the cow special because I'm going. Ask for the Kyle special. Because that's what I want.
Hey, and we just want to say, man, we appreciate you for having us.
Yes.
Like, when y'all see us on Oprah, you're going to be like, yo, I had them before Oprah had them. So, you know, you got that.
Absolutely. If we don't meet there.
Right.
High five on that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please share. We've been giving some phenomenal information, having fun while doing it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Live Discussions with Dr. D. Don't forget you can check me out on Facebook and Instagram at Dr. D Unlimited. And if you like, you can order one of those shirts. I just launched my t-shirt line, Unlimited Edition.
So you get some shirts.
Gotta get some shirts up in here. You can shop Unlimited right now by going to my website, www.drdunlimited.com/shop-unlimited. Check it out. It's going to be something, man, because guess what? We believe that you're already approved to live unlimited, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you. Oh, God, you know, I can't get off with these two. They are too funny. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Have an amazing night. Bye.